Well, ladies and gentlemen, on Blind Android Users, we have a trio of people on this recording. It's going to be myself, Nazma, and Jasica. Would the two of you say hi?
Hi. Hi.
Now, Nazma, while I was getting ready to prep for this recording, it was looking at different headphones and different things, I think on Instacart, of all the places you could go look.
Best Buy.
Yeah. But what we're here to demonstrate today, because, well, boredom does not overtake even the slightest person, including the guy who wants to do audio streaming. So today, I decide to take you on a tour of an app, what is used normally for audio relaying. Well, yeah, as its name implies, audio relay is the application used to not only stream your microphone to a computer or to another device, but to stream the other device to the other device, or, as it were,
that audio really
stream.
Amazing.
Yes, it is. Particularly because you can stream from your computer to that. Now, I must caution you, to demonstrate the computer, and just to make absolute sure that I don't do what I'm afraid I'm going to do, because I know me.
What are you about to do?
Now that problem just got solved. I plugged a pair of headphones into the computer, or else when I connect to the computer using audio relay, what we're going to get is very, very unpleasant.
Message. Telegram.
Ah!
Messaging. McAfee.
Is it really Telegram? Okay.
Game launcher.
Anyway, I am using TalkBack, and I'm actually running the app on a Galaxy Z Fold 5 from T-Mobile. I have a plethora of devices I could have demonstrated it from, but I picked this one as it's running Android 13. I'm already on my app screen, so I'm just going to double tap it on audio relay here.
Calculator. Calendar. T-Mobile. Calendar. Audio relay. Audio relay. Selected. Player. Tab. 1 of 3.
Now,
list.
when
Items.
you first download it from the Play Store, you're going to come across a couple of things. Number one, it's going to welcome you to audio relay. You choose start, get started, or the label on the button. There is a subscription if you do not want the ads and if you want to unlock all the features, which, by the way, it's worth it. There's either a multi-month subscription or a lifetime subscription. I picked lifetime. Why? It was only $14 and it was well worth it, as I will be demonstrating through this recording. Now, Jessica's going to connect her Pixel to the audio relay because she's going to serve as the backdoor in the background with that. So you can kind of hear the differences between delays, because obviously I'm not relaying my computer directly auditorily. So I want you to hear directly from audio relay. In other words, audio relay is going to be our computer speaker at one point in this recording. However, at this point, I'm going to explain the 3 tabs across the top. You have 3 tabs. The first is player. The second to the middle of that is server. And the third is settings. The player tab allows you to connect to servers that are already running, either Android phones or computers, or if you're me, Kindle Fire tablets, although it listed as an Android device. Do not worry. I'm that crazy. All right. Why, however, might people ask, would you need audio relay? Let's say you're in a situation, you're listening to your music and you want to take it with you, but you don't want to get Spotify, or really, for that matter, you just want to relay something you're listening to on your computer. If you're me, it might be something you're experimenting with. So chances are you're going to want to relay it on something. So this is where audio relay comes into play. Yes, it even relays the screen reader. I'm going to demonstrate the first page first, which is the player tab, and explain what you have in this window.
Windows server. Setting. Servers. In list.
Okay, that's a header.
Connect. Edge panels.
Sorry, I was scraping
Windows
something off my...
servers. Windows device. GWORM. 192.168.0.19 audio relay out of list.
Okay, that sometimes happens. What happened there is the server list got updated, and the result is that when that happens, it bounces me to the top.
Watch game recap. Windows device. GWORM. 192.168.0.193 in list. Double tap to activate.
All right. So that's the Windows device. Remember the title. It's this GWORM, GWORM, a silly name that I came up with. So I want you to remember GWORM because we're going to come back to that here in just a minute. Swipe to the right.
Connect by address, IP address, or host name.
All right.
Edit box 192.168 XX. Double tap to edit text. Double tap and hold to long press.
And that's the address connected to it. By the way, from doing some experimentation, it would appear that you can also connect to a computer using an external IP address, similar to SoundWire. Swipe to the right.
Connect button.
Connect.
USB tethering. Reduce delays and audio artifacts by sending the audio over USB. Note that some device manufacturers have moved the option to another screen.
And that's very important. So you can actually use USB tethering. Now, I do not quite know how to make this work, so I'll probably have Jess do some experiments on her laptop, and then she can tell me what she did, and then I can do a tutorial on that separately, USB tethering with audio relay.
Tutorial on that too, thing. Yeah.
On how to tether things, including audio directly from the phone, and it'll reduce the bandwidth usage. Actually, will cause no delays, and it's probably a method I should have used at Iowa Speedway back in July. For those who don't know, I went to Iowa Speedway and attended the IndyCar race, and we were trying to determine if audio relay was going to be my mic source. Would have been if I had done what I was supposed to do correctly. And even Jess will tell you that included turning off my computer before we left for the Speedway. All right, so going to the right.
Button. Detected. Icon. Question. Double tap to activate. Settings. Button. Player settings.
All right, player settings. Continue to swipe to the right.
Audio quality. Choose the audio quality.
All right.
Double tap to activate.
Now, this option allows us to choose the audio quality that we want our audio to play as. Now, this is important because if you have a very weak connection, you're not going to want to use uncompressed audio. I'm going to double tap on this and let you see some of the options we have.
Go back. Audio quality. Uncompressed. Send the audio without compression. Requires a good connection. Double tap. Not selected. Radio button. Compressed. Compress the audio to reduce data usage. The loss in quality should be minimal. Selected. Radio button.
Okay, so it says the loss in quality should be minimal. Now, I should point out that that also depends on the next area that we're going to change and we're going to look at. And we will demonstrate this actually, because I'll play something in real time. It'll actually be me singing the first Noel, and we'll have a little fun with that as we go. I know, it's not Christmas time.
Compressed or uncompressed?
I have mine set to compressed.
Compress the audio to selected.
And this is the setting I recommend.
The audio. Select 2010 compression options.
All right, here we go. Now, in that area, you're going to find that if you keep swiping right, it's just going to keep pulling that radio button. So what I do is touch exploration on that area. And now we're going to have a setting here that says compression options. And it's going to start at the bottom. We're going to start at the top.
Compression, 10 kilobit per second. VoIP. Double tap to activate.
Now, some of these qualities have different categories associated with them. A 10 kbps would be like a VoIP call. Generally speaking, you're not going to try to want to stream music through that, as I'll demonstrate why you should not really do that too much.
24 kilobits per second. Talks, audiobooks, podcasts. Double tap to activate.
Talks, audiobooks, podcasts, that's 24K.
32 kilobits per second. Talks, audiobooks, podcasts. Not selected. Radio, 64 kilobit per second. Talks, audiobook. Not 96 kilobits per second. Talks, audio. Not 128 kilobits per second. Music, movies, games. Double tap to activate.
So 128 KB is where it starts at music, videos, games, and then it goes to...
Select 256 kilobits per second. Music. Not so. 450 kilobits per second. Music. Move. Not so. Edge panels. Not 450 kilobits per second. Music. Movies. Games.
All right.
Back. Button. Win.
So those are your settings for audio quality.
Handle audio. Exclude buffer and audio out.
I generally either leave it at its default, which is, I do believe, let's go back
Audio quality.
and
64 kilobit. Knots. 90. Knots. 100. Selected. Rate 128.
128.
Back.
I usually leave it at its default. Now, that being said, if you're having connection problems and you are connected externally, i.e. you're further away from the router, or if you are using an external IP and connecting that way, I would advise you to drop that down between 90, depending on the bandwidth. Now, if you've got a really slow connection, it's probably best to go as low as 10 if you have to, but don't do that unless you're in an absolute pinch and need to connect to... I go as low as 10 and as high as 128, and sometimes if I'm directly near the router, as high as 450. I do always, however, suggest leaving compression on, because uncompressed audio will give you very unpleasant results, as I have found in many of my experimentations. All right, so we're going to go and look at this next.
Exclusive audio. Audio output. Buffer audio output. Choose the output suited for your device. Double tap to activate.
All right.
Go back. In order to use an equalizer, select audio track and disable the low latency request.
All right.
Enable audio effects if the quality isn't good enough. Open SLS, low latency latency output. Double enable audio effects if the quality isn't good enough. Audio track, standard output. Open SLS options. Enable audio effects, could improve the audio quality. Will slightly increase the latency. Double tap to activate.
Now, if you're using audio track, that checkbox becomes request low latency. Some devices you're better off to keep OpenSLS active, because when you're using standard output audio relay on some devices has a tendency to stop playing after a certain amount of time and will go directly to the and will make you have to unlock the screen. So on some devices, including this, because really it doesn't change the quality on these newer phones. You could use standard audio and it's still beautiful. You don't even need that. Now, on a device like, say, the Moto G5G 2023, it's advised to use it's advised to use audio track, because you can enable, or rather disable the low latency, and it'll use your phone's audio processor to handle the audio, which is why things like Dolby works out very good on the Motorola phones. All right, so let's back out of here. All right, now we're going to go to
exclusive audio buffer amount. Choose how much to buffer.
Choose how much to buffer.
Go back. Medium, low buffer. Great for movies and video games. Medium buff, low buffer. Great for movies and video games. Needs a good connection to not cause audio artifacts. Double tap to medium buffer. Try to limit latency while allowing a bit of buffer. A less demanding alternative to the above mode. Double tap. High buffer. Great for music. Keep audio hiccups to a minimum by buffering before playing. Double tap to activate.
Now, I will warn you, the latency is fairly high when you do that. When you choose high buffer, there's about a 4-second delay. And then?
High buffer. Custom. Choose values adapted to your need. Keep the buffer amount to a minimum to reduce lags, or increase it to reduce audio artifacts. Double tap to activate.
Let's double tap on that.
Selected. Selected. Radio. Reset. Edit. Button. Edge panels. Edit. Custom. Choose minimum edit. Audio The amount of audio to build up before playing. Edit. The amount of 0. Edit box. Minimum. The maximum amount of audio allowed to be buffered in milliseconds. 100. Edit box. Cancel. Button.
And that's,
Audio.
you can set some pretty high values on that.
Music. Selected.
The high buffer.
Medium buffer. Low buffer.
I'll go back to low buffer, which is what I use naturally.
Exclusive buffer. Exclusive audio. Stop when another app plays audio. Deactivate to play audio from both audio relay and another app at the same time. Double tap to activate. Now,
that particular feature is very useful because you may decide you want that particular setup. You may decide you want that. I don't necessarily know that's something you're going to use very often. You may want audio relay to simply continue to play audio while other stuff is playing. Chances are, at least for me, that's something I would leave on.
Handle audio device disconnections. Stop playing when a headset or a Bluetooth device is disconnected. Double tap to activate. Media style notification. Change the appearance of the notification. Allows you to change the output device, for example. Double tap to on, switch, server, sources.
Now we're to the server tab. When you swipe right at audio relay beyond any setting within the play tab, it actually does a really cool thing and swipes you to the next tab. So it not only shows the tab over, but it moves the tab into focus. That's a feature of audio relay that I'm glad they have, and there's a reason you'll see why in a minute. So server, we have sources.
Microphone. Stream your mic to another device.
Stream your mic to another device.
Double tap to activate.
What this means, by the way, is that if I want to stream my microphone, say if I really wanted to record this demonstration using the Z Folds microphone, but use my computer as the audio source, I've configured audio relay to send sound to a virtual audio device, and by the way, it's not VAC either. I installed a thing called voice.ai on my computer, and the actual virtual microphone driver is what I use for virtualization. As A, it's a lot more stable for me anyway, for what I do, and B, I can do these really cool voice automated, or not automated, but voice test. So that's why I use that. All right, so the one thing that we're going to do now is we're going to look at the second option.
Apps. Stream the sound of your apps to another device. Double tap to activate.
Now, I'm going to explain both. The microphone gives us a lot of functionality. We can change mic modes. We can actually change volume, add noise reduction. Some of your Android phones have built-in effects such as noise cancellation, echo cancellation, automatic gain control. The T-Mobile Revel V 5G, the V Plus 5G that I gave Nazma, actually has several functions, and all three of those functions do work in audio relay. So
I could put audio relay on my phone.
It is not that hard.
Next recording, and we could do it off there too.
If we really wanted to, we could easily do that. If they want a sample of that, we can certainly do that. We can demonstrate how the different microphones sound. That could be something called a walk down microphone lane.
What we could do is connect the microphone to the computer. Or can we do that?
That's what I'm saying. You connect the microphones, and then you connect to them on the computer. But what I do is I have a live stream. I have my playback and audio relay set to the virtual AI, voice AI driver.
Right.
And then I send that audio back through Reaper where I can pre-process it and clean it up a little bit.
That is cool.
For the purpose of keeping it even cleaner sounding. And for more distant microphones, it enables us to actually hear those microphones a little better. All right, so having said all that, we're going to... that's what the microphone settings does. The apps, let's look at this app setting.
Apps.
Because
Start recording or casting with audio relay. Audio relay will have access to all of the... Cancel. Audio relay will have access to all of the information that is visible on your screen or played from your device while recording or casting. This includes information such as passwords, payment details, photos, messages, and audio that you play.
That's
Can't
cool.
start now. System UI. Audio player. Tab. No Samsung. No connected device.
Now I'm going to use another device and connect to audio relay and find out if in fact my theory is correct. I do not think it streams screen readers. Let's find out real quick here.
OnePlus search Google.
If I would actually end up in the right.
Contacts. Calendar. Audio relay.
All right.
Audio. Windows device. Android device. Samsung.
Audio relay.
Audio relay. Out of list.
OnePlus CPH 2515. Setting. Premium. You have server. Tap. Server. Samsung. OnePlus CPH 2. Samsung. Stop the server. Button.
Okay.
Double tapped.
My theory is correct. If I were to
edit shortcuts. Double talkback. Edit talkback. Off. Talkback. On. Back. Audio relay. Here. OnePlus CPH 2515. Talkback off. Talkback on. Help.
All right.
Samsung S OnePlus CPH Samsung SMF946U
Connected.
192.168.0.144 121 capture latency latency capture
Audio
23
relay.
milliseconds.
Screen
List. Window
Okay,
audio
so
relay.
screen reader
Stop the
is
audio
not
relay.
captured.
Apps microphone.
However, microphone is. If we were all in separate rooms, we could connect our microphones, change our mic modes to voice comm, and then do exactly the thing I have that I've also mentioned audio relay is good for when I've talked to some people, and that's quick point-to-point communication. If you've got really responsive Android devices and you're on a good setup, you could theoretically use audio relay as an in-house VoIP communication system. I've done that with Jess on a handful of occasions, and it's a very, very useful feature. Before Nazma got here, we had actually done that a lot when she was doing some stuff. And actually, during her classes, we used audio relay as a method to send audio across while I was helping her with her homework. All right.
Apps
I
microphone.
actually forgot about that.
Yes, we did use it for that. All right, so let's go to the settings tab.
Settings.
Now,
Selected. Premium. You have premium. Congrats.
all right.
Device. Device name. Display. Device name. The name displayed to other devices. Theme. Choose the app's theme. Double tap to language. Choose the display language. Setup. Server download. Get the download link for the PC server. FAQ. https://docs.audiorelay.net/fac. Forum. https://community.audiorelay.net. Contact us. support@audiorelay.net. USB tethering. Add a shortcut in the app. On. About. Share app. Spread the word. Play Store. Send feedback. Translations. Any help is appreciated. Usage and error reports. Help improve the app by sending anonymous data usage. On. Switch. Translators. The users who helped translate the app. Open source licenses. Open source software used in the desk. Privacy policy. Version 0.26.1. Disabled.
Wait on.
All right.
Audio relay. Player.
Now, we're going to turn on, we went back to player. Here is what you guys have been waiting for.
Okay then.
And I wasn't exactly expecting a NASCAR race outside my front lawn. So we're going to now turn on the
Audio output. Buffer and audio output.
I'm going to scroll up a ways. By the way, your normal scrolling gestures do work in here.
Windows device.
Yes, they do.
And for those who wonder, yes, with all the major Android screen readers, CSR, with with CSR, with Prudence, with Talkback. It does work.
Mute worm.
All right. I have connected to Gwyrm. Remember, I said Gwyrm is our code word today.
Do you want me to connect?
You may.
Okay.
But as she does, note there will be a minor echo because as you cancel, I said cancel because that is unfortunately our wake word on our Amazon devices because of the Kindle Fire being triggered way too easy, and yeah, we have that too, so figure so we don't confuse a bunch of devices here. Especially me. So that is that. We're gonna go now and play some audio. I'm first gonna change my audio. As you can hear, this is just as responsive as having it go through a computer speaker. As just as effective. And the only thing not very effective right now is my computer deciding it doesn't want to. Okay. Now remember, this is audio with me. And you can already hear a minor delay from Jess's side.
Max latency. Max latency. Handle media exclusive audio buffer amount.
Now, let's experiment with the delay on my side. Jess is going to keep hers exactly where it's at, so you can pick up on the distances. Here's buffer amount.
Buffer amount. Go custom.
Here's iBuffer.
Medium buffer.
Here's medium.
Medium buffer. Low buffer. Back.
There you go. Now let's change quality.
Audio quality. Go.
Let's
compressed.
go as low as we can.
10 kilobit per second. Compress 10 kil. 64. Not select.
All right.
128. Back. Exclusive audio. Back.
Now, if you guys want a good comparison,
Samsung.
sound here. Jess can max out hers. Okay. Now when she turns hers down, as she fades hers out, mine will come in. Now we'll stop our... Now I will stop the audio here.
Message Samsung News.
After I
Weather. Double apps. Calendar. Audio.
went back too far. Because I can.
Audio. Stop. Stop. Button. Double tap to activate.
Alright, so that's a demonstration of what can happen when we connect via computer. Now this also means when connecting audio devices that if we were to use either of our devices as microphones, we have several options. In the mic settings, I will run them down for you very quickly, but when you go to microphone, there is a boatload of options. In fact, I'm going to run them down by actually streaming my microphone to Audio Relay.
Audio output.
And we don't need to connect for this, because if you do, you'll feed back in ways we really don't
Android server.
really
Server.
approve of.
Microphone. Microphones. No
Could hurt our
connected
ears. Right,
device.
so no connected devices. Now, by the way, you may have also saw that earlier when I was connected with apps. When you stream your audio, but nothing's connected, that area where it says no devices connected yet, that's where your device list shows up. So this is where you would go to find the device you want. Or, to see what all is connected to your microphone while you're streaming. Of course, when you're streaming your microphone, you want to know this information and know that your computer is connected because this is the device you'll be using for that. Go and do the following.
Volume boost. Audio effect. Microphone settings. Audio effects. Volume boost. Increase the volume. Can cause clipping if too high. Double tap to activate.
That is correct. If the audio is too high, it will clip or distort, and you do not want that to happen. So this enables you to adequately enable or disable that as necessary. And this is a very important thing to have. So have the volume boost on only if you have a mic audio source that is too low. A good example of this might be if you are working with nudging our we have the dog right behind, a little too close to our electronical gear here. Radar is our really adorable. Well, he's Nazma's guide dog, but really a really adorable dog. And he heard himself being bragged about, so he just is looking at me like, yes, he's very good. He's very well behaved. So that's volume boost. Here's the next option.
Noise suppression. RNNWAS. Remove or reduce noises such as keyboard keys, white noise, or PC fans. It increases the CPU usage.
But
tap to activate.
What it also does is also, and I have tested this as has Jess. We've ran noise reduction to see what our mics would do, and what we have found is it definitely does reduce the background noise, provided that it can, and it depends on the noise threshold underneath it. Sometimes if that noise threshold's a little too high, then we tend to find ourselves fighting that a little bit, so we don't often use that. In fact, you can usually clean that up directly, natively off the PC using a plugin called Goyo, which will eventually be changing its name to Tone Clear, I believe is what they're going to call it. And that'll be its own thing in a separate place, not reserved for the BAU podcast, because it has no correlation with that. But if anybody's curious, I'll definitely share it anyway. Next, we'll go down here and we'll swipe down.
Noise suppression. Microphone mode. Default mode.
There are multiple mic modes.
Audio. Default mode. Voice communication. Enables echo cancellation and volume normalization. Double tap to activate.
Now, default mode basically is the way our microphones record in HiQ, Easy Voice Recorder, any of that. The voice communication mode is used when you do not want your talkback to come through your recordings. So it has its own uses. The third option,
raw, unprocessed audio. Double tap to activate.
Now, raw, unprocessed audio. Now, this is very important to understand. It will, as it implies, give you unprocessed audio. The way the phone would sound if you did not enable, or if you didn't have any pre-processed at all. If you want a good raw audio, that's a good way to get it. This is also found in Easy Voice Recorder Pro, one of the few recording apps that lets you change your microphone modes. And I do find the ability to change mic mode very important when getting good recordings from locations.
Voice performance. Tune for low latency. Double tap to activate.
Voice performance, tune for low latency. Depending on the phones, it may have an interesting effect. I know it has a very interesting symptom on the Pixel of giving us very squishy, compressed audio, which I actually tend to like this sideline reporter effect it gives us. I call it a sideline reporter microphone mode because of that. That is not the existing capability when it's in voice performance on the Samsung that I'm using to demonstrate this. However, that's one of the things that you probably will encounter. It's a very, very nice feature. Again, voice performance. Go to the right.
Voice recognition. Tune for voice recognition.
When you speak to
Double tap to activate.
When you speak to your Google Assistant or to the Bixby Assistant, you will find that one of the things that happens is that's used through voice recognition. This mode, just like the raw audio mode, some devices treat it as raw audio, thus it does not pre-process, because in voice recognition, you need decent and clear audio to be able to send voice messages. And then the recordings I've made, definitely a good classic example of that. And then lastly,
camcorder. Tune for video recording.
Not lastly.
Double tap to activate.
Definitely not lastly, but that's second to last. Camcorder will actually take advantage of both microphones, both top and bottom, on most of your phones and record from both. I have an LG Stilo 5 here, and that's probably the best audio mode I've recorded on with that device, despite its poorer quality. But it has good audio reception, if you will. So it's a great recording apparatus for that.
Mic, alternate mode. Double tap to activate.
Mic, alternate mode. Now, this is the alternate mode often heard on the device. This is the... It's the regular microphone mode. I use this preferably, and I'm going to change it directly to that.
Camcorder. Mic. Alternate mode.
All right.
Audio. Double.
So audio relay came up. Now, if you're using voice communication, there are 3 more things that appear at the very bottom of your microphone tab, or of your server tab. Automatic gain control, AGC. Depending on device, you may find that option is disabled. Do not panic. It may be disabled natively within the device. Secondly, is noise reduction. Often times on some of the Samsung devices, noise reduction is often used to bring about some audio reducing characteristics of the preprocessor in voice comm mode. Depending on some devices, it may turn it off, but it will still leave the voice cancellation, which is the third option, echo cancellation, which, by the way, does suppress talkback. I have found in my testing with this app that is how you are able to make that work. So I'm going to now stop the mic server.
Samsung has no connect. Samsung stop the server. Audio relay. Out of screen on.
If you guys are interested, if there's demand for it, or if Warren or the rest of blind Android users wants to hear a demonstration of that, of the various microphones, I'll be glad to upload some recording and content of the various microphones that I run on a day-to-day basis with audio relay and my various devices. However, I would caution you that with that will come a couple of caveats. Number one, cannot guarantee the mic quality of each device, because depending on the Android phone, just like a Windows computer or what have you, mics do vary depending on manufacturer because of the technology they use. Motorola has its own technology, including the new Crystal Talk AI that's been introduced into some of the Moto devices for clearer VoIP communication. That is something to keep in mind through some of that. Having said all this, I would say audio relay is a great go-to if you want to stream your microphone to your computer and use it as a wireless mic with some virtual audio configurations. I've done this, but at the same time be able to stream the sound card to your computer and have at least a minimal delay. So that is audio relay. You can find audio relay for the computer to download the software or what have you at www.audiorelay.net. You can go to the Play Store and search for Audio Relay in your Play Store. Remember, the subscription is $14.95, and that is lifetime. There are monthly ones. There's also, I think, a couple other ones. But my advice, go for the lifetime. Then you'll only have to pay once. That was Audio Relay. At the chair, she's Jasica Mangan. On the seat to my right behind me is Nazma Ali. For these two, for Warren Carr of the Blind Android Users Group, the main head honcho, one of them, one of the 1,000, I'm kidding, and the guy who loves oatmeal. Thank you, Warren. I love oatmeal too, trust me. It's a good breakfast. I'm Brandon Hennis, and thank you for listening to another app demonstration. Have yourself a wonderful day. And for good measure, thank you.